What had happened is the Moroccan Navy vessel had fired its cannon about 150 meters just off our bow. Between 2002 and 2007, I worked at a company called Marina Marbella in the south of Spain. Now, my job really was doing what we call client boat handover, deliveries, client boat rescues, shipyard operations, taking the vessels in and out of travel lifts and cranes. And part of our job was delivering boats to and from Morocco. Now, the reason we were delivering boats to and from Morocco is the company I was working for, Marina Marbella, had a shipyard in Morocco. And that shipyard would be able to hold bigger boats, because the travel lift that we had in Marbella was a bit smaller. The one in Morocco, Marina Smir, was bigger. So we used to take the bigger boats to Marina Smir in Morocco to have them, either stored for the winter or taken there to have them hauled out, anti-fouled, new anodes, put back in the water, ready for the summer season, the Mediterranean summer season. Now, one day, like any other day, we get a phone call. Martin, who's my colleague, and I, from our boss at the Marbella shipyard. So we go to his office and he says he needs to go to Port-de-Banús, pick up a Princess 65 and take it over to Marina Smir. So we were happy to do that, no problem at all. So we call a cab. The cab takes us to the Marina Marbella office in Port-de-Banús. We go in there, we pick up the keys for this Princess 65. We have to sign the boat out. And then from there, we get on board the boat. We do our normal checks. So, checking all levels, checking the bilge pumps are working, steering checks, thruster checks, start up the main engines, make sure everything's in order and working, navigational equipment, all that kind of stuff. So when we did the check, we realised that the boat was relatively low on fuel. So we decided to take the boat from the dock, and then we came alongside the fuel quay in Port-de-Banús and we put in, I think, around 1,000 litres of diesel. After we refueled, we untied from the dock, and Martin was captaining the boat, and we left the harbour mouth. Now, as we expected with the weather forecast, it was a beautiful, calm, clear day, and we estimated it would take us around 2.5 to 3 hours to get to Marina Smir once we're all tied up. So we're cruising along nicely. Martin was on watch, and I think I was organising, a few things on the boat, the lines and getting covers ready, just getting it ready for the yard. And as we came into Moroccan territorial waters, Martin calls me to the helm and says, look at that vessel off the starboard bow. And he said, it looks like some sort of military vessel, a naval vessel. And it was dead stopped on the water, and it's probably about between 1 mile and 2 just off our starboard bow. And it wasn't doing anything. We couldn't see anybody on deck. It was just sitting there. It appeared to be dead in the water. So we were cruising like around 20 knots, I guess, and we just maintained our course and speed and just thought nothing of it. We're going to pass ahead of them and it's going to be no problem. And we just carried on with our course. Next thing, we see these splashes of water about 300 feet in front of the boat, 100 meters. And it looked like something out of a movie. You know how in the movie when you get the splashes of water when you have a machine gun firing? What had happened is the Moroccan Navy vessel had fired its cannon about 150 meters just off our bow. So you can imagine our panic and what we were doing, like, holy crap, what the hell are these guys doing? So immediately Martin, the captain, put his hands on the throttles, came right back to neutral. The boat, we were stopped in the water. We had the VHF radio on channel 16. We didn't move. We were waiting for some sort of communication from this military vessel. What have we missed? What are we doing wrong? And we're expecting them to call us up on channel 16. We're expecting them to communicate with us, but nothing. We found this old pair of binoculars on the boat, and we were just looking out the binoculars at this military vessel. Still, we couldn't see anybody on deck. It was just no movement. But you can see, when we first looking, you see a bit of smoke coming out the cannon they had on the bow of the vessel, on the foredeck. So we sat there dead in the water for a while. We were panicking a bit, you know. We're like, why are they firing us? Do they think we're some sort of enemy? Do they think we're maybe drug traffickers? We didn't know what to think. And back then, there was no, on this particular boat, there was no AIS. You know, we couldn't see the name of the vessel. We couldn't really see much, to be honest. We were just like basically crapping ourselves. And we waited and we waited and we waited. And then a few minutes later, Martin decides, like, what we're going to do, we're going to alter course and we're going to go around them and go astern of them. So I was like, okay, fine. So he was like, just make sure the VHF's on 16. We're checking everything. You know, the squelch is correct. The volume's on. It's working, and we still can't see anybody on board this military vessel. So Martin then engages forward propulsion and alters course about 90 degrees to starboard, and we're keeping probably, you know, about 500 meters. 300 to 500 meters, you know, away from this military vessel. Again, we're coming out beam to beam. So can't see anybody, and you know, can't see through the bridge windows. There's just no movement at all, and we're going very slow. We're doing probably about 5 knots, 6 knots, and we come past the military vessel, and we come astern of the vessel. And then we start accelerating slowly. We come up to like 8, 9, 10 knots, and we're watching, we're listening to the radio, to the VHF radio. There's no movement on the boat. So we then pick up speed again to 20 odd knots, and we head towards, you know, our destination to Marina Samir. We look at each other, and we're like, what was that? And we're like, I have no idea. So we just carried on our route. There was no warnings on the channel. There wasn't a firing area according to the charts. Nothing like that. So anyway, we get into Marina Samir, and when you get into Marina Samir, because it's outside of Europe, we have to do the customs, so passport stamp and check. So we tie the vessel alongside to the customs dock. The customs officer comes out. He asks for our papers, the boat papers, the usual spiel. And he does all the stamping and the signing, and then we moved the boat off the custom key, and then we went to see the harbour master. And we explained exactly what had happened to the harbour master, and he kind of chuckled at us, like laughed at us. And we're like, why is this funny? We just told you that we just saw this Navy vessel fire, you know, shots just off our bow. Why are you laughing? And he's saying, well, this is not the first time I've heard of this. What do you mean? He said, we believe they do it because they get bored and they want to have a bit of fun and scare people. And I was like, is this a fact? It's like, we can't say it's a fact, but we can't see any other reason they'll be firing at, you know, privately owned luxury yachts or sailing yachts. We think it's this firing practice, and they get a kick out of it from people kind of crapping themselves. So I would love to know if anybody watching this has experienced something similar. Do let me know, because we find it fascinating that any Navy would actually even consider doing that. But we were crapping ourselves. We didn't know what to do. But the story is that when you're going into certain territorial waters, you really need to understand what you're getting yourself into, and make sure you do fully understand if there's any firing exercises happening. Make sure you understand the local laws. That's really, really important. So that was our scare when we had a Navy vessel shooting just off our bow. So really hope you enjoyed that story. Very happy that I'm in a position to be telling this story. So do be careful out there, and if you haven't done already, do consider clicking that like button and subscribing, and I'll see you all next video.